What's going on? Welcome, everyone. We're going to be talking about Donny Cates and God and Country. Got a couple of awesome panel members here with me. We got some running late, but that's all right. We're going to get everything started. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first panel member with a new intro. Let's check it out. All right. What's going on,
guys? I guess we're going to be talking about Mr. Donny Cates and God Country, and really cool story. So I'll see you when everybody else is introduced.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming out. All right. So next one on the list is my friend, the one and only Foil.
Hey guys, what's up? Super excited. Finished reading God Country. Craziness happening in it, and I think today will be really fun.
Yes, sir. All right. So let's go ahead and introduce our next panel member, my friend Shelby.
What up, Comic Fam? Happy to be here. Yep, today we're going to be talking about God Country. If you will, smash that like button, hit subscribe, so you don't miss out on any goodness that happens here on AMKM, man. Happy to be here.
What's up, Denzel? How's it going? Appreciate the love and support coming out, man. All right. So next we got up is our boy J1. And fortunate that we couldn't get that new intro in there for you, but we'll get it.
I appreciate it. And don't worry, I can't even use camera right now, man. I have no idea what's going on.
It's all good.
I'm working on it.
At least you here with us. We able to talk a little Donny Cates.
I'm here in spirit and voice, so that's all that matters.
All right. So it looks like we got our boy Evan. What's going on, Evan? Appreciate you coming out. All right. So let's get everybody up on the board. All right. So, Cat 60, since you're first on my list, my friend, what you think about God Country and how Donny Cates wrote it? What's your insight on it?
I think it's a pretty awesome story, and the premise is it's about a guy, losing his life to Alzheimer's, and he gets the sword and he gets his life back. It's really a good kind of heartwarming feeling, wrapped around some good carnage. So, and it shows his struggle to keep his life and not lose it again, and how far he would go to which he goes really far.
Oh yeah, man.
Keep that. So, it's a great story.
All right. What about you, my man? Foil.
Sorry, repeat the question.
I love you, man, Foil. How you feel about God Country and how the way Donny Cates wrote it?
All right. I'm very back and forth. I think the overall story was great, phenomenal. Love the idea. My grandfather has Alzheimer's, and we're dealing with that right now. My mom's over there staying with him right now because my aunt, who he's living with, is in Puerto Rico right now. So I'm currently seeing the whole Alzheimer's and how it affects. And so it hits me on another level, saying how my grandfather is like that. So, but I do think the story had a lot of good parts in it, but I thought it also had some bland parts, and it also had some parts that could have made it a little bit better. And there were some times where I thought, like, man, I was like, especially in issue 1, like, man, this is predictable. Like, this, I know this is going to happen next. And then you look at the next panel and, oh, shocker. And then there were some things just like when he's looking down when the guy's walking down, which this might not even be on Donny Cates, but I know he has a say in it as far as what the panel will look like. And when the guy is he's the one guy's walking down the road in the city, and then he sees the pack of wolves or whatever, and then the wolves just run right past him, and then you see him in the storm through the city. It just didn't impact you that much, but if they just would have used like a bigger panel and would have done it through that guy's eyes and saw this giant storm coming right at him in between these buildings down the road with like this monster in it, like I think that would have been a lot more better and would have impacted it more. Just little things like that were like, sure, it's not the biggest change, but I mean, to the reader when he's reading it, like that'll make a big impact. But I mean, there's a lot of good parts in it, and the overall story for me was it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it.
All right. What about you, my friend Shelby? What's your insight? What's your thought?
Yeah. One, I always, have to do a little bit of research. I'm kind of glad, I guess, we started with this book in terms of Donny Cates. I think it was some of I know he'd done a few things before, but this was like the thing that got him popular. And then he went on and did, the work for Marvel and the other really popular Image books. So I agree with Fold. There were some parts of it that I thought were a little bit bland, but I think I could write that off as maybe being some of Cates' first work. I tried to think about it whenever I was reading it, and after I finished reading it, like I did enjoy it. Okay. And I know it became immensely popular. So what was it that, and, of course, I got the trade paperback, and it's got all of these glowing statements from, all these people in the industry, like Brian Michael Bendis, Mark Waid, Terry Dodson, Babs Tarr. And, I think it was just the interesting way it was written, right? It's kind of like, hey, sit down, let me tell you a story. Mm-hmm. That happened, right? And so that kind of hooked you from the very beginning. It's like a modern day, let me kind of tell you like a modern day fairy tale, so to speak. And, really it comes down to, I guess, the fight physically and I don't know, maybe emotionally and maybe even spiritually of this one man to keep his life. And it's keeping his life on many different levels, right? First, it's keeping memories of his family, right? Because he remembered not remembering his family when he got the sword, because of Alzheimer's. And like Fold also, I had an aunt that passed away due to Alzheimer's, and to watch her deteriorate over time was very difficult.
I am, man. Sorry to hear that, guys. But
yeah, and then later it becomes a fight for him to keep the sword, and then at the end, it's a fight of universal scale, right? Because this God is wanting to get the sword so he can take over the universe. So now he's fighting not for his memories or for his life, but for everyone. And
Okay.
so, yeah, it's pretty interesting how that culminates throughout the book.
Definitely. All right, I just want to give it a shout out to Honda Jabroni. Appreciate you showing out. Hey, man, he has some amazing content on there over on his channel. You guys got to check it out. Appreciate you showing some love and coming out tonight. We got Blue Eyed Sweetheart. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you coming, showing some support. It's always good to see the Meta Mafia group in here showing some love. Remember to hit that like button so we can do a little giveaway tonight. So I'd love to take care of you guys. Show you guys some love just like we do on Meta's channel, man. All right, so we're gonna get into it. Let's go ahead and start with issue number 1. So
Did you talk to?
Did J Bob have anything to say?
Yeah.
Skipping him?
how did I skip? My apologies. All right, J1.
Ouch.
No, that was my bad. It's because my wife was talking to me and I was trying to focus.
It's
Lies,
me up a
lies.
little bit.
He's not even married, people. He's lying.
It is all good, bud. Don't worry about it. Man, I like the story. I thought it was really good. I really did. Just like it touched part of Foyle's life because some of the things he's got going. But yeah, like he said, some of the story's a little predictable. But overall, I mean, you got one old man that lost all his memories of everything and been fighting it for a few years now, and now he's gotten everything he ever wanted back, except his wife. And now every freaking monster god in the world from other universes and beings of all beings are like, no, just give it back. You can't have it no more. It's kind of crazy to think of.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So now with that said, we'll get into
What
issue
about
number
you,
1.
AM man? What do you think?
Hey, I thought it was pretty amazing though. I'm not gonna lie. It's a different. It was kind of like a plot in a sense. I don't personally. I don't know anybody with Alzheimer's, but you know, we would never want to wish anything bad on someone, especially with something like that. And I kind of got an inside look of how it feels for someone to have Alzheimer's and to deal with someone that has it also.
So Sunny is the hand model, guys. All right.
Spoiled.
What?
Just mute him.
Mute him.
Why?
Whatever you were doing, dude.
Was I unmuted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I showed muted on my screen.
All right.
Thanks,
Back to the show. Man.
All right, go ahead, man.
But yeah, no, definitely. The story starts back from 2017 from Donny Cates' work. Starts in Texas, Texas is your boy's hometown, man. So it was cool that he was able to do something correlating with his hometown, and it's kind of like a myth and a story. I thought it was pretty unique and just something different. So I mean, it's a good thing that we're doing this story, you know. So yeah, just to let you guys know, if we get to, what did we do, 22 likes the last show while we were live?
I don't remember.
So it was about 22. If we get to 50 likes, I'll go ahead and do a credit for either my store or for the metaphorical auction. So I'll get you guys taken care of with that. So hit that share button, get some more people in here. Let's get started.
27 likes, 1 dislike.
No,
So we're there.
Dislike.
So technically 28.
You want to counter the dislikes?
Look, a dislike is not bad. It's stupid, but it's not bad because
It just means that person sucks and lonely and doesn't get the comics they want because they
Hey,
don't bid in auctions. That's all it means.
Hey,
Must
we're not
be
going to start with
metaphorical.
that.
Can you see who dislikes?
No, I can't.
Oh,
But,
see,
hey,
no, we're good.
that's not the here nor there. If you guys don't personally like the content, I'm sorry.
Screw it. No,
Send
okay.
me
Dude,
send me
I
an
don't
email
think-
with
I
what
don't
we
think
can change.
people. I don't think people hit the dislike button because they really don't like it. They probably just hit it to be goofy or whatever. Who
Hey,
knows?
I mean, it is what it is.
Trolls.
It doesn't hurt.
Wear
me,
like
man.
wear like a badge of honor. Anyways, man. I think
All
I
right.
think
We got-
I didn't look too much at the panels
Catherine.
and being predictable. I don't know, man. I maybe
Yeah,
it was
we got
predictable for
Catherine
some,
from it. Yeah.
but I think that a big deal in this whole thing is, I looked at it in a light of, looking for different clues to things that could be coming in different things. Let's just say it that way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's things that I did find in there, and I'm not always impressed with the interior artwork. I mean, it's good, but
Hey man,
the
Jabroni, I love you,
story
man.
and the story and the overall theme, I just think was really, really well put together. And it leaves an ending that could be continued.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
we'll see where all of this goes.
And we're talking about issue 1, correct?
Yeah, we're going to start talking about issue 1. The story was written back in 2017, based off of in Texas. It's about an old man who has Alzheimer's. It's his son who looks after him. I guess he's old. He's alone, and it's different out there in Texas. Who on the panel lives in Texas? Yeah. You live in the city, or you live in like a small town?
No, I live in the city. I live in Houston. But I've been familiar with Austin since probably the late 80s, early 90s. That's when it kind of started becoming back then it was very alternative. There was a lot of cool independent movie makers and stuff. The first movie Slacker was filmed there, and I knew a lot of people, the cinematographer Scott Rhodes, and a lot of the people that was involved in that movie back then. And that's when 6th Street was just kind of building up, which is the popular row of bars and stuff there in Austin. But it kind of started getting that counterculture vibe back then in the late 80s and early 90s. And it's really just kind of continued throughout till today. The saying, keep Austin weird, is like their slogan. So definitely me knowing Austin and reading this, I definitely got the vibe of understanding that Donny Cates was from Austin. It's written very simply. I mean, it's a very simple story when you look at it. And it's kind of got this, oh shucks, let me talk to you about this, which you have a lot of that in the South. You have a lot of these older people that, literally sit in rocking chairs and in front of barbershops and will talk to you about these old stories and such. I remember sitting in rocking chairs and my grandmother telling me stories of growing up in the Mississippi Delta, when she was younger. So it's a very Southern thing. The atmosphere of the writing is very Southern. And definitely you can tell that he's part of that. I don't want to say artsy, but just kind of alternative. With the University of Austin, and they're producing a lot of great artists and writers and such. So, definitely you can feel that vibe in the writing.
All right, Cat 60, how you feel about issue 1 and how it started?
Oh yeah, from that area too.
The struggle with the family, the husband and wife, getting into an argument. I'm old, so I've seen some things, and families struggle over that type of stuff a lot. And Roy's dedication to his dad, just he wouldn't put him in a home. He wanted to take care of him. He wanted to give him the dignity of basically dying at home. And it showed a big loyalty to his dad. And his wife was just over it because he was, he has Alzheimer's and he's violent at times. And that's truth. I mean, a lot of people with dementia and Alzheimer's, and actually brain injuries too, can get very violent. And so the fact that his wife was going to take the daughter and leave until the storm came, and the father, grabbed Valifax and got Valifax. Valifax chose him as a champion to slay the demon, and then he's back. He's back to his old self, and coming back as his old self was kind of interesting too, because he was a violent person, and the cops were even talking about how violent he was and what it took to restrain him. But when he slayed that demon and started talking to his family again and remembered everything, he was excited. He seemed like he was a very caring father, and he loved his son, and he loved his family. So I would imagine that's what he was like prior to that. Which gave you an understanding of probably why Roy wanted to, give his father that dignity to die at home.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I feel like that the father-son relationship was a little bit more what was a little bit deeper, because once he got his memories back and he's sitting outside playing with the granddaughter, the son says something like, yeah, you're seeing him now with her, but he wasn't always like this, when I was growing up. And does someone have their speaker on? Because
Not me. It's not me this time.
It's AM.
And then the father walks up behind him, and the son starts talking to him about, hey, sorry if you overheard that. And they didn't really get into a discussion of the past, but you felt like there was more going on with the past.
No, I agree that probably the father was strict and probably, not all the time was he, a wonderful, sympathetic or whatever, but you could tell. I mean, there was something there that Roy felt. Maybe Roy felt inside his head. He thought about all the good things that his dad did, because there's panels that showed that, showed pictures of him,
Well,
going to baseball games and stuff. And
yeah, at the end, right? At the end, when the son got all the father's memories, which is what I
yeah.
that was happening. He got to see everything from his father's point of view, right? So while Roy, the son, may be looking at, his point of view of the memory, or his perspective is perhaps the father being strict, he now sees it from his father's perspective of the same memory, which is, something else. And a father-son relationship is, needless to say, difficult. It has been for me anyway. I always had a difficult relationship with my father. I'll just be honest, I don't have a great relationship with my son, for a lot of reasons. And, being able to absorb or take all of your father's memories, and so in one way they're preserved, right? Alzheimer's hadn't taken them because they got passed on to the son. But in a lot of ways, wouldn't that be like the ultimate,
you get to understand the way your father actually perceived
the ultimate
relationship
understanding
with
of
you.
father and son, by having those things, completely shared? Because I know there are things that, and my father's passed on now, I know there was a lot of things left unsaid between us, not just on his deathbed, him dying, but him and I worked together for many years. And, I bet you we never spoke more than a paragraph to each other, which is really sad, that we never, had that. So.
So Foiled, go on, man.
Yeah, so issue 1, for me at least, I think it was probably the worst issue out of the 6. And it's not as in like the story in the first issue was bad or whatever. It was as like a lot of stuff in issue 1 was predictable. Like panel by panel, I was like, oh, I bet this is going to happen next. And then it happened. And it's just because we've seen it every other time. But I also think it left a lot of things out that I don't know if we'll see it ever again. Such as, like, it never showed us how he got the sword. Like, but yet it says, like, oh, the son prayed. And, like, I think it was, like, issue 2 or 3 about how the son was praying that something would happen. And then he got Valifax. And it just never showed us how he got the sword. So I think if we had that information, we could have had more of a deeper, like, understanding of the story even more further, and it would have helped us more enjoy the story. But it's just certain little things like that. Again, like I said, with the guy running through the city with the storm and the pack of wolves, and then next thing you know, he's facing the storm. Like, and it just shows the storm rolling through the city. Like, it would have been awesome instead of like a top view, like an aerial view. Like, it would have been like through his eyes. Like, cause could you imagine just sitting there, like, standing in the city, buildings like down the side, you're staring down the road, and all you see is this giant, massive storm, and there's like a monster like sticking out of it. Like, there's a lot more things like that where it's like, oh, that would have been crazy. Like, that would have been awesome. Like, could you imagine what that would have looked like? And it's like, yeah, but it didn't look like that. Like, it was just this boring aerial shot, which I know it's not entirely on Donny, but I know he does oversee those panels or at least he should.
I think the story explains though how he got the sword, and he didn't get the sword. The sword chose him.
The sword chose him, right? But we didn't see that journey of the sword actually meeting his hand.
I mean, we had the 6 issues, right? 6 books. So
that's what I'm saying. We might see it later on. We might not.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You never know.
Like at the moment with what we have, like it just kind of sucks that we didn't see that connection. Like we saw they were connected the whole when he was holding it, but we just never saw like them meeting for the first time. Because could you imagine like the grandfather's reaction to like having this giant sword talking to him? Like it would have been a crazy conversation about like the grandfather and the sword just talking with each other, and like the grandfather having Alzheimer's. Like you can kind of imagine like a regular person, they would be like, "Holy crap, it's a giant sword! Yes, gimme!" Like, I mean, if any of us got a giant sword, I mean, we'd be like, "Yeah, duh!" Like, give me, like, here's my hands. It'll go on that wall. Like, all of us would love to have a giant like 30-foot sword. But like with someone with Alzheimer's, like I think it would have been cool to maybe like kind of see that perspective of like when they first meet, and just things like that where I felt like I was missing. But like Kat said, I mean, you never know what they might give us in the future. But I don't know. It's just little things like that where I think it should have been part of like the book. And as far as like issue 1 goes, like I think that should have been in issue 1 in order to like give us that little bit more of a I don't know, more of a connection to how the sword actually what it means to the grandfather, besides it just telling us throughout the story and like them two talking. Like
so what is your plan, AM? I mean, it's 6 issues. Are you planning on like discussing an issue a week or something? Because I'm sorry, I'm not sticking around for 6 weeks to stretch out this.
Yeah, we can do this whole book.
This isn't a big enough story to warrant that. I mean,
we're not doing.
We were talking about one whole story tonight, and not just an issue.
You're right.
So, but yeah, I don't think how he got the sword necessarily matters, right? I mean, and in a way, keeping that mystery is because we also don't know what happens to the sword at the end either, right?
Well, it gets given to the son.
Do what?
It gets given to the son.
Right, and then he drops it and walks off like he kind of forgot about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that
we don't know
that will go further on.
Ending, and that's the mystery part of it, right?
That's what I was saying. Like, because the grandfather gave him or the father gave him his memories. So maybe, second issue, we see what happens with the sword. We see what happens with Roy, and maybe we see that meeting within those memories, and they bring those memories to life, and they show us the memories and show us that meeting. That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't have to be in issue 1. It's just it would have been awesome if issue 1 could have had that, and then because the transition was awesome anyways. Just like them like in the car or whatever, and then next thing you know, this giant storm and a beast, and the next thing you know, the grandfather comes out just like bashing like this creature. Like, it would have been. That was a really cool transition. I just think there were certain things like that throughout the story. But that was my main thing with issue 1, is that it was like top 3 things. Predictable in a lot of spots. That just the whole sword thing. Like, I feel like we didn't have an understanding of the sword until about like issue 3, when the son when the father and the one son of the son of war or whatever,
Ardius or Aristus.
Yeah. That was like issue 3. So like we're already halfway through the thing, and that we're just now understanding.
That was actually issue 2
issue 2. Yeah. When they were talking, but it was like what, halfway through it, or like 3/4. It was like I would have loved to have that in issue 1 because then I would have had so much more appreciation for the rest of it and like would have kept that in the back of my mind. Like if I just reread it because just to freshen up and whatever, and it just gave me like it just kind of added more. Like rereading it, knowing that this sword was created and
Well,
how
he gave
like,
the
the
origin of
sword-
Halifax.
Yeah,
That's what it was. He gave the origin of Halifax.
yeah, and just knowing like all this, like knowing the stuff about the sword, and rereading issue 1 through 6 again, like it just to me it increased the story value to me as a reader, and knowing, and it just added so much more texture to it.
See, to me, the story itself
Yeah.
was more about the sword, and then Roy and Emmett's family was kind of like the undertext. I mean, there was more about the sword, more history about the sword. It's almost like it was a great buildup for what's to come next for the sword.
No, yeah, and
Yeah,
I think
there is a spinoff planned, which they haven't given any clues of what that spinoff is, but I'm assuming it's the sword, right? That is going to be the focal point of that.
I agree. I think the big continuation of the story is going to play more into the sword, but it was a good introduction to that sword. I think you're right. I mean, I think the there was a lot of there was a lot going on with the family, and there was a lot going on to show that the sword creates a champion out of whoever it chooses. If the person is worthy, the sword will make that person the champion and can destroy worlds, basically.
Right,
So,
like the sword itself. It said, "I am Excalibur.
Oh, yeah.
And I can only be used by the chosen one. But I'm also blah 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 blah."
And every other sword you heard about.
Every power every sword's ever had.
Yeah, but in a way, with the sword being sentient, in a way, the sword got its freedom also, right? Because its maker was wanting to reclaim the sword, even though the sword did not want to be reclaimed by the maker. So having the maker destroyed, in the story, in a way, actually frees the sword now, to where
maybe the sword was always good, and that the maker of the sword wasn't necessarily a good person.
Right.
So,
and
yeah.
so now the sword isn't metaphorically looking over its shoulder all the time, for the maker trying to, chase it down and claim it again. Right. So now the sword is free to fully, do whatever swords do. Right.
Whatever swords do.
Whatever swords do. Go hang out at the sword strip club, or
oh Lord,
maybe find a nice pole to fall in love with.
So basically, I totally understand. So the only thing that trips me out about the story, as far as like issue 1, issue 2, is I feel like the granddaughter had never met her grandpa, never knew the situation, and that touches base on a lot of different things. And when he kind of exploded on her, I think it scared her in a sense. But overall, she still loved her grandpa, and towards the end, they kind of built that relationship that should have already been there.
Definitely, I mean, that's one of the things with writing, right? Is without getting into a lot of extra narrative, he just shows these very small glimpses of, like, the girl suddenly being afraid of the grandfather when he becomes angry, or at the beginning of the story, her running out of the truck saying, "I want to see grandpa," right? you don't need to know, and you don't need to add all this other narrative to understand that feeling and emotion that comes along with that. And that's actually one of the beautiful things about Donny Cates' writing in this case, is being able to let the art or small words carry that story, and you still feel it without there being a lot of narrative. And I think if there had been a lot more narrative, that would have actually hurt the story more. So by being purposely vague, by only showing bits and pieces, right? You know, just seeing the grandfather, you know, boom, the house got destroyed, you know, by this tornado or whatever, which is really a demon. And then the grandfather standing there with the sword. I mean, you just got the money shot, right? I mean, I don't need to see the rest or know the rest. And probably in my head, it's a lot more cooler than, you know, some old man with Alzheimer's and a sword suddenly appears to him. I mean, right? You know, I like to imagine that it's kind of like when Billy Batson says Shazam, and boom, you know, there's Captain Marvel. You know, that's why I like to imagine probably what happened is, you know, this hit, this happened, and boom, you know, there it is. And
and then but the, you know, the trippy part about Donny Cates and how Donny Cates works, you know, you seen the tomahawk, you seen the sword from God and Country all tie in to Thor when it had appeared in the last issue. I mean, this all goes for what could we expect for crossover, how crossover works.
He's building his own little universe. That's what he's doing.
From the insides, from what we've learned from reading issue 1 and learning the things that we have learned.
Oh, you about got that? Cates.
Oh snap! Look at you, Shelby. Look. Somehow, which we'll break it down as we go. That God and Country, the tomahawk, probably might eventually actually lead somewhere to crossover, which we anticipate crossover being the true crossover, the one crossover that everybody's been waiting for. I mean, what better way to do it with a great writer?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he lays that out.
Because in issue 1, there's so much in issue 1 that's critical to the story and crossover, to where it can amaze you guys in so many different ways. I can't wait for issue 2.
Yeah. Did you see God Country #2 released a variant with Savage Dragon on it?
Yes, I did. It's on order.
Yeah, I got a bunch coming.
Nice. I love Savage Dragon,
so I've got first, second, and third issue. So
thank you.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I think it's going to be really cool to see where he's going with this. I mean, this story is so open. You know, there's a lot that can play off of it. Like Foiled said, you know, or maybe it was Shelby, how he dropped the sword and walked away, like he's done. He doesn't want any part of this. But that's an epic sword, you know.
Really? You're the cousin. Now you're sharper then.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I think that actually he didn't drop the sword because he didn't want it. I think the sword, to me, almost made him forget, you know, like forget it, like, you know, now forget me or something, right? Mm-hmm. And then he just drops the sword. so then the sword can go on and do again like whatever swords do, right? He kind of
Yeah.
made him forget about the sword.
I mean, the journey that he had to go through because of what he cherished so much. As far as all of his memories, he forgot everything, and being able to remember those type of things are essential to life. So, I mean, for him to fight in the battle and the struggle that he had to go through in order to keep the sword, because they wanted the sword back, and he had to battle for it. And
All right,
So-
let's move him out.
what you think, Kat?
I'm no longer Cat. Why am I playing games with this game?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot to play off here. I mean, you
Yeah,
see on issue 5, you see Spawn with Valifax, and now they're releasing another variant. Why did they put Savage Dragon on the cover of issue 2? I mean, it's kind of strange. I started seeing some other stuff like the little in Venom, the little like swirly thing on the heads of Null or whatever it is, on Spawn, in a Spawn issue, an older Spawn issue. I gotta dig that up. That's something I gotta look for. But
Definitely, I think one thing we're trying to do by having these, last week discussing Donny Cates, as a writer, and then this week discussing God Country, is we want to build up some enthusiasm and for some excitement for crossover that's going to be coming out. We do have an exclusive cover.
J Bob, you got your background.
Oh, the blue screen, the green
Yeah,
screen,
yeah,
or
your
whatever
blue,
it is.
yeah. You
Go in
gotta
your
go to
settings.
I think
settings.
it's just weird it works. Anyway,
Sick exclusives.
we will be having our Midnight Mafia exclusive coming up. Y'all can order them at
Yes, sir.
AMKM Comics if you'd like. It's limited to 300 Virgin and trade dress sets. So definitely jump in and order those now, and cheaper than any Virgin and trade dress sets you could get out there. So I think they're $50 right now, pre-order, and yeah.
Oh,
So-
you can
And
buy
then also,
multiple
yeah.
copies, guys. Multiple copies. Going to be great for Christmas presents, birthday presents. It's going to be something you can give to your kids. Give them to them a long time in the future. It's an investment item, something that you could pass on generation to generation.
I definitely agree with that, man. It is an investment item, and it's not me being biased at all.
No, and I think it's super clear that with like all these different things, having these different variants and including these different characters, like it shows that crossover number 1 clearly shows that Donny Cates is an Image fan. In that I think he, like, to me it's evident, at least, like, I think he's been planning this way longer. Like, he's been planning this whole thing, whatever he's doing, that he's been planning this for God knows how long. And now that he has a chance to do it, he's like, all right, the first time that I'm going to be like sitting here and being able to do it, I'm going to go for it. So,
oh yeah, look,
So
y'all.
I went ahead and dropped the link for anyone that wants to pre-order crossover. Our exclusive cover will probably be dropping the final artwork as far as the trade and everything within the next couple of days. We're trying to work out the kinks with Image, but yeah, I definitely suggest you guys picking up crossover number 1.
Oh yeah,
You'll be amazed. I mean, Donny Cates himself is an awesome writer. So
Yeah, and that's Image Comics. Okay, we're playing with the big boys. We're playing with Todd McFarlane. Okay, we're eating ice cream with whoever else is there, Silvestri and Kirkham and
You were on a roll, man.
I know, like eating ice cream. I was like,
you know, I was
what
going to say
do?
Liefeld. I think Liefeld got kicked out a long time ago.
Man,
But,
Liefeld.
you know, all right, we're playing with the big boys. We're playing with Image Comics. So, man,
Buy ours. Go buy cover A and read it, because I'm gonna tell you,
Which we do have cover A and cover B available at amcomics.com.
yeah, for a
I'm
discounted
sorry.
price probably. Just buy the book and read it. Okay, if you like it, then come back and buy the Virgin trade set from us.
If
you're
it's still
hesitant
available.
now. But I'm gonna tell you guys, it's gonna be a Marvel, DC, Image, all sorts of stuff. All these guys tied together. Man, it's gonna be amazing. It's
You
gonna
might
be
not
Yeah,
see the video.
I'm kind of wondering if I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna do like the stories, or well, we already know that the story's about the 3 characters, and there's gonna be other characters going in and out, and we know that there's going to be like every character kind of thing. So I wonder if they're just gonna have like little adventures with other characters, and maybe 1 or 2 issues, and then it moves on to something different. It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, hey,
And
you never know.
go ahead.
No, I just said you never know.
No.
It'll also be interesting to see for anyone that's in the chat that is a seller as well, or a big CGCer or CBCS. It'll be interesting to see with how many things are crossing over, how many it will say on these slabs, whether it's first appearance of this person in Image Comics. Because if they do end up honoring that and they put it on a slab, they're going to have like a lot to write. Which, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys in the panel, but when I see a slab that has a ton of writing, like I think like that's one of the best things ever. Like I think it's awesome that it just sits there and it gives you like this whole detail about like first appearance of this person, this person, this person, this person, and it's like just amazing that it's like all 10 of these people have their first appearances, and that it gives you like a background origin of this person. And if they honestly do this like on the slabs and stuff, I think it's awesome. Yeah, like there's a ton of writing. Like honestly, to be honest, for issue number 1, if they were to do it, that whole blue part top to bottom would be full.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's like
sweetheart. Hello to all my fans out there. And who knows, we might do an exclusive signed edition by all the Mafia panel members. So, you got that to look forward to.
Well, I want one of those.
Hey, you're getting one. What you mean?
Hey, my signature is like $1,000, so
I want you guys to know my signature. Actually, I'm gonna have to pay you guys to take it. So let me know how much it's gonna take, because I want you to get some more.
Yeah.
He wants to get his signature in front of as many people as possible, and he's got a boatload of money, so it's all good.
I've got money. You know what? I'll give free comics to each person, so don't worry.
So another thing that had interested me about not crossover, God Country. Man, I'm tripping. How after the battle and after everything, how they basically brought back Elizabeth, which was his wife, and how he basically mocked him in a sense, like, look what I can do to you, like control his mind and different things like that. What do you guys think about that topic?
That was the brother of Aristus. I can't remember his name off the top.
Beltoff or Beltoff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was like Bill Graham or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was something weird.
He actually, because he was trying to make a deal with the dad to get Valifax back. And the funny thing is remember, Valifax picks his own champion. And Valifax didn't find him to be worthy, so Valifax fought him back.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, really, I mean, there were fights, but with the first person, the first one, Belthoff or whatever, it was Velifax that actually defeated him, and he was trying to fool, the old man into, seeing the solution of his wife, the second fight really wasn't that major because he just left the other brother there on Earth while he went to meet the father. And then, there was a fight between them, but really he didn't defeat him. He just ended up getting him to use his remaining power that was keeping that small part of his world from going into the what they call the black sun or something like that. And
it was vanishing, and his powers kept that together.
Yeah, and so he didn't really defeat him per se in terms of like I stab you to death. He just kind of tricked him into using more of his powers to where he couldn't sustain his world from being destroyed. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, through all the battles. And then he didn't defeat the second son, right? It's actually the father that killed the second son, the son of war. So actually the grandfather never really killed anybody or defeated them in the traditional sense.
I think if it came down to it, he would have.
Oh yeah.
The only reason War didn't die was because of the granddaughter.
Just pointing that fact out, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like the only reason freaking War didn't die was because his granddaughter was like, "Grandpa, no, don't do it," because he had the look of the devil and he had his freaking hammer in one hand and sword in the other, and I'm like, oh, he is getting ready to smash the hammer into his face and then drive the sword through his heart. And then you get the little girl like, no, Grandpa, don't. And I'm like,
yeah, actually,
let the man do his job.
In advertising for this on my IG, I put that image up on my IG for the link to the show tonight because it is probably one of my favorite images in the book.
Yep, that one right there. That's just sick.
Yeah. But yeah, that's up on my IG as the link to the show tonight. So, but yeah, that's one thing too. I mean, I understand the art style may not be to everybody's liking. However, what I do like is its unapologetic look at, hey, there's this pot-bellied freaking old man being a warrior, right? I mean, it gives all of us fat dudes, a chance then, right? Of seeing this, beer-bellied old guy, being a warrior and stuff, and doing it very, like I said, unapologetically too, right? And the son's not very handsome. He's got this bulbous nose and, kind of skinny and dirty, and so
he said he had a hot wife.
Oh, he's got a cute wife.
Really,
so I mean,
very nice.
I like the unapologeticness of the artwork in that way.
Oh yeah.
And the wife too is very strong, right? I mean, she stands up to Roy at the beginning about leaving. Then
but she sucks it up and stays. Go ahead.
And then they go through all of the all the stuff, and then the house gets rebuilt, and then Roy walks up and she's already drank a couple of beers, right? And she's like, here, I'm ahead of you, have one, and it's like, yeah, there you go. There's a woman already, hitting the alcohol after all this stress. And then when they're battling the demons, the first thing comes out of her mouth is like, where are the, guns? She's ready to pack some firepower and start fighting the demons and such. So I really kind of like that he wrote the character as a strong woman personality versus someone scared, or a shrinking violet type of character. So I thought that was very smart on his part.
He definitely covers a certain area of, I don't know, what do you want to call it?
Political issue. I don't know.
Geographics.
I mean, he went to hell.
Comment says it does show the relationship with the son and their father, because Roy was in control, trying to help his dad with his autism.
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah. And there's a lot of cool parts of the story like that and stuff. And and I know for me personally, the coolest part of God Country, right? Coolest part. I know it might sound stupid, but it's like the coolest part to me. Issue number 3, when the house is surrounded by zombies or whatever, the creatures, and he tells them to go inside. My favorite part is when they're fighting, and then next thing you know, like the creatures are breaking in through the windows and stuff, and then the blade has all the other kitchen blades, and the blades in the kitchen like go through the house and like kill all these things. Like, to me, that was the coolest part.
Well, right, because I didn't even think about that until I read it. Right, is that Valfax is the sword of all swords, and kitchen knives is really just another form of a sword.
He said, "I am every blade."
So he controls every blade. Whether it's a kitchen knife, or
Blade Runner,
caliber, right? Yeah, he controls all, and that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
he's this box cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. So I mean, what's unique to me is when in issue 4, when he goes to go save his granddaughter, it's weird because they don't have the relationship, but he has that fatherly love for his granddaughter, to be able to go and to basically get her back. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember, he's not the same. He's not the same.
Yeah, he's not the same person as he was before he had the sword, due to the fact that he has more memory of his past, as you would say.
Yeah.
It goes back to where they showed the illusion of his wife, and how he tried to take the sword, and how basically Volfax basically denied him access to basically the sword, because he found him unworthy of the sword. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then they're sitting here battling off. In a sense, I believe that relationship between the dad and the mother had grown more and developed due to the fact that they were battling the monsters, they were battling the zombies. They did it together, and when it was finally over, said and done, I feel like it made a difference in their relationship as far as that.
Yeah. You know what I'm actually hoping for? You know at the cons how they always have the swords people, and they have all the swords and the different things? Do you guys have that where you're at?
They have a 10-foot long Valifax sword.
If they have a Valifax, I'm getting it.
That sword's like 10 feet freaking long, man.
Yeah, I know it. Hanging on a wall.
That take like a whole, 79 Impala amount of steel to make.
Yeah,
I'm
they
a
did
huge
that
anime
one.
fan, and I have a Tensei Sengetsu sword, and that thing's like 7 foot long, so I get it.
I'm just saying, like, I would totally get it.
All right. Hey guys, I actually had a hard cut off at 8 o'clock, and it's a little after, so I'm going to drop off. I enjoyed the conversation, and
All right.
yeah, I think a lot of y'all I'll see tomorrow night on the Midnight Mafia metaphorical auction. Don't forget that coming up, the end of the month auction will be the night before Halloween, and I'm going to do an all horror lot of books. So nothing but horror books, and maybe a few scantily clad girls, but mostly horror books. So it's going to be horror or horrors. So, but anyway, all right. Love you guys.
Adios.
Remember,
Adios,
peace,
amigo.
love, and comment.
Peace. Appreciate you coming out, man.
All right, AM. See you. Well,
right.
I'm sure we'll talk tonight sometime. Bye.
Yeah, I got you.
He's got to go practice how to sword swallow now for when he gets that Valifax.
Hey, Cat's back.
Oh,
Yeah, man, it
what's
just
going
dropped
on,
me to
Cat
desktop.
60? Welcome back, man.
I got a.
Oh yeah, no,
I got a.
no.
Oh snap!
Yeah, it's acting a little funny right now. Yeah, it's been
So where are we at?
acting.
It looks like pint number 3.
Margarita number 3.
Nice.
Is it actually number 3?
Always working.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Good deal.
Always work.
The first ones were frozen.
So how do you feel about the relationship of the son and the wife towards the end of God Country? Sorry.
well, I think it took.
Cat.
I mean, they're definitely together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think very much about it. I mean, I think that they were just like relieved to have everything over. It could be a reason why he dropped the sword. It's a finality to whatever happened. But it seemed kind of weird because Dad's gone. And maybe Roy's. He knew it was coming anyways, and he had already come to terms with it.
Mm-hmm.
And to have his dad go out the way he did may have been a better way than to watch him, rot away with Alzheimer's and
definitely
die in his bed. So I think that they, that they have bonded even further, the husband and wife. They faced an epic, battle in their lives, and now it's over. And
definitely.
They can go where they want to go. They're not stuck at that little farm thing in a podunk town, and so.
Yeah. Another thing I just wanted to. Foil, go ahead. What'd you think?
Say what?
What'd you think?
Oh, I thought you were about to say something.
Yeah,
No.
so did I.
Oh. You said another thing I just want to. Floyd, go ahead.
Wait there.
I mean, the relationship kind of seemed hallmarky. As the sense of like, yeah, they're together, but like they're not like together. And but then in the end they have a closer relationship, and a death brings them together, and then they all live happily ever after. I mean, I think like it was kind of hallmarkish. I Oh my gosh, blender. I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know how much his mother made him watch Hallmark, but I'm assuming that's probably where it might stem from is Hallmark. Just because I mean, it seems that's another thing like kind of predictable. Like I could tell the wife was gonna sit. Say what?
I said you always make me laugh, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like to me, like as soon as like I was seeing that relationship, but the first thing I thought it was like Hallmark because I was like, yeah, they're mad at each other, then, or they love each other, or then like some situation. I can't. What is that?
Somebody breathing into the mic.
Hey, move your mic away because it's like I think it's in the direct path of your like nostril, and you're just like exhaling like a hurricane. But like, but yeah, I mean, it kind of seemed like it was like up at the beginning, and then then they found out about the issues, and then it just went down, and she couldn't take it, and then like in the end, she's like, he's all right, he saved me and my daughter, so I think we're good. Like we still love each other or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it just seemed very plain and predictable as far as the relationship throughout the story. And
Yeah,
but you never know.
Always,
it might change. It might change later on. So
they were always like tight. I mean, throughout the whole story, even when she was leaving him, she didn't want to. She just felt that the environment wasn't right for the daughter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're a tight family, and even though, I mean, I think he lost it. He left a job, and they downgraded completely, but she was still with him because it was important for him to take care of the father. So at the end, it is that part's definitely predictable. That once everything is over, that their relationship was going to be tight. I think their relationship even became more tight because they survived the battle and and just became more in love and maybe Hallmarky, but I mean that's kind of like
I know you watch Hallmark Cat 60.
No, Lifetime, man.
Cat's life is Hallmark.
Yeah, you have no idea. If Hallmark it was made in hell, yes.
Jay, what you think? What's your insight, your thoughts?
Oh, dude. Did you see what I said?
He wants to share his screen.
Wait, what?
So, this was supposed to get shown tonight, but we had an issue. So, I want to let everybody see it for the very first time.
The new Hallmark production.
Did you make this, Ben?
No.
Lucky me.
His wife with a degree made it.
That's right. Here we go.
Damn, dude.
Hey,
that's an epic crossbow shot.
What do you think?
Could you imagine? No, it's good. But could you imagine like some hero like that was his thing? Like he shot logos. Like,
okay.
Like,
anyway.
you would think that arrow was going to kill something.
Yeah.
But it just made a logo.
I thought it was cool.
It's definitely cool.
See? What do you think, AM? I know this is supposed to talk about Donnie, but I was excited, man.
Oh no, hey man! It looked like Denzel loved it, man. He said it was sick, so definitely.
Yeah, man.
So, but yeah, I'm always willing for you guys. I mean, we get off topic every once in a while. Don't get me wrong. So, I mean, you being
I
able
know
to
we
show
do work
off,
with Foiled.
that is very true.
Foiled is
But no,
off topic.
definitely.
Could you hear it?
Being able to launch your new intro, I think that's dope, man. Definitely. But yeah, what do you think about the relationship between the Roy and his wife, as far as the story, as far as their battles and different things like that?
It seemed very realistic to today's modern marriage, and the it'll reach out to the woman readers and it'll reach out to the man readers, but for grandpa for the man readers and mother for the female readers, because I mean, between Roy and the wife seemed to be more of the pants wearer. I hate to say, but it is what it is.
Yeah, she definitely was bomb material. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
in most relationships, dads go out and make the money, and moms keep the family together.
True.
Moms are
Very true.
Moms are actually the stronger figures for most families.
Oh yeah.
Even
Yeah,
if dad's abusive or whatever, I mean, mom's still the navigator.
Yeah.
But the
No, go.
I think she almost sheltered the little girl too much.
A little bit, but I think it's just more of an instance of protecting. You know, you always want to protect your
Yeah.
children from things that you're unsure about on how they would react to different things like that. Because I mean, it is scary, you know, to just think about it. Your grandpa and going through the things that he went through, and you want me to share the screen?
Yeah, man.
Going
How the
through
hell
the
did
things
he
that he went
survive that?
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
through.
I was like,
Man.
come on. I was like, he just got chomped in the neck and nothing happened.
Yeah, the
And
first
this
thing I
is true
thought of is
Hubert
when I
was.
saw that is that he's dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done.
Yeah.
That thing's biting his neck off.
I thought he was going to have his head thrown at his grandfather, and instead he punches the dude in the face.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
whatever.
it's
I thought it,
insane.
you know, that there's a story there. I mean, he's facing that entire
Hey,
army of.
Tell
of
me
the
that doesn't
undead.
look like the Rider right there. Not Ghost Rider, but the Rider.
Huh?
To be
Yeah,
honest,
there's a lot of.
it looks like a donkey more than a horse. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god. Never mind.
Like, have you ever played Red Dead? Have you ever played Red Dead?
If you
Oh my god!
I'm just pulling Abe Kim's leg.
To me, it did. I'm just saying. We're always looking for Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, you're always looking for different things, different facts, and you know, Donny Cates is the king of the king of Easter eggs, hiding things in plain sight. So that just goes back.
Yeah, Donny Cates' nickname back in high school was a Fluffy Bunny Rabbit. King of Easter eggs.
I was going to say Cadbury, but whatever.
So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to point that one panel out. Is like, how the hell did he survive that bite? I mean, that kind of pretty much.
That kind of blew me. Was like, really? I was like, how
It
could
blew you?
blew me away?
Family show.
Yeah. So
It was until you said something. But yeah, it kind of blew me away that, like, really, it's like some of that stuff was like kind of was to me a little bit ridiculous with like some of that. Like he could have changed that to where maybe it was a little bit different and like he wasn't biting him in the neck, like one of his most vital spots in his body, and then like somehow miraculously like he survived. Which I don't know if you guys saw, but like, can you put it back up on the screen?
What?
Put
Yeah,
that.
give me
I got it.
Cat 60. I'll wait for Cat 60. But overall, I mean, when you read Donny Cates, it's different. It's weird how he takes real life events and then turns it into a comic book, makes it into a realistic story, but yet with some cartoon effects to it, to be able to write a story that everyone enjoys. You know, you got Thor, you got Venom, you got different stories, but that just makes him the best writer that we have in the game right now. And
I'm sharing the
crossover
screen.
is just another example on how he connects his books.
Yeah, and I think he almost is like he almost does such a good job because he's a fan of comics before he's a writer. And I think like a lot of times when like you're younger, you have all these like crazy like when you're playing with your toys or whatever, like you have these crazy like crazy imagination ideas of like, oh, what if grandpa was a superhero and he had a sword? Like that is something totally that like some kid would like imagine. And like to see that come to life, like he's bringing up all these awesome ideas that like a little kid would think of and like it would be awesome and it blows their mind and I think that's why it blows everyone else's minds because it'll
Yeah,
blow someone's mind and it's so far-fetched and imaginative like but it's yet so realistic that I think everyone like enjoys it thoroughly. But my thing is look how big that mouth is. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
but that just
That's what I was gonna point out. Is like, look at that bite.
Like what is that, a
that bite is
nibble?
big. But that just goes back to say like how unique Donny Cates is as a writer. Next week we're gonna get into another story. You got Tomahawk, you got Redneck, you got Baby Teeth. All these stories are different. They're unique, and is writing the way that he writes is very unique, and it's not something that we've had for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, this is this story. I think I think is left wide open. And it's left open at both ends. It's left open at the beginning because in the first issue, I mean, it was very quick for that storm to pop up and for the chaos to start. It wasn't drawn out. It was like right into it. You had the little bit with the sheriff was talking to him about his dad was got loose and they had to bring him back and you had the thing where the wife was leaving with the kid and then all of a sudden it's like bam right in. So like there's open ends on both ends. I mean, this is an epic sword. It's the sword of swords. There's no other sword like it. That's just dropped on the ground. At the end, somebody's got to pick it up because the sword has a purpose, is to kill.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe the sword chooses, wants to choose a better champion that's going to use it for good instead of like its maker, which is probably, I mean, he was a conqueror. He just destroyed things. And maybe that's, Valifax is made of many different swords, and Valifax has a consciousness, and maybe its purpose is to become, a sword for good. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we're probably gonna see something pop up in crossover. I mean, that's absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Donny Cates connects his work. There's too many variables.
Yeah, there's
Too
too many. There's too many reasons why this story isn't over. I mean, especially if you look at
what's going on.
especially if you look at number 5. I mean, you know, look at that cover. I mean, that's, you know, there's something there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, it doesn't show Spawn wielding the sword, but look, it shows. Isn't this the father, or who is that? I mean, this is Spawn, but who's on this side?
Yeah, that does kind of look like the grandpa in a sense. It's kind of like a two-face split image of both of them kind of collaged together. So I really do understand what you're saying, man.
You know, maybe because doesn't Spawn take people's powers or something? You know, has the ability to take people's powers.
Yeah, man.
I mean, did he take on the soul of the father, and now he's able? You know, is Spawn going to be wielding Valifax?
I mean, hey, you never know. I mean, Donny Cates does some wild things, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. One topic that you know just kind of popped up in my head is Donny Cates keeps us reading. I mean, no matter what it is, even if it's predictable, he makes it work. It's just what he does. Imagine if Donny Cates wrote DC, how much would that change DC?
I don't know, man. I think DC's, you know, has that dark element that they've introduced. I think that that's what they should be. That's what they should be.
Oh yeah, they do have the black label. You're right.
That's what they should be focusing on. I mean, you know, you got things that, like, you can't make. Well, I can't say you can't, but I don't think it would be right to make like Wonder Woman, you know, one of these dark characters. But that could be kind of that would be kind of cool. But you know, and Aquaman's, you know, a little limp wristed, so
Iceman.
who knows? I mean, I think they're going the right direction with all this. I think they're going the right direction with all the dark stuff, and if they stuck to that and you know, go for the older crowd and let Marvel keep the family friendly, or however you want to put that, you know, let them do the Disney
yeah
stuff.
But you have a lot of things like Detective Comics that's just really like classic that I wouldn't want to take. Like, I wouldn't want that stuff to change. Like, I would still want some of that stuff, because like I know a lot of the newer Detective Comics stuff is going more towards darker and all that, but like there always has been that sense of like that kind of like family friendly within Detective Comics, where it's just classic Batman, classic this or that. Like, I think they should keep an element, but I think Detective Comics does do darker stuff really well. I think that is, like, at least at the current moment, that's their forte. But if they had Donnie, I mean, they'd still do amazing.
Oh man.
I wanted to go look and see if they updated to. I bet you they did. No. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for a crossover, man. I think that's gonna be. You know, we've already gone through one, and it's almost a shame because now we got to wait a whole extra month to read 2. You know, it gives us a little leg up, but man.
Hey, Kat, check private real quick.
Going back to Superman and Lord, Superman and DC. You know, how do you guys feel about the blowback that Bendis was getting for changing the element of some of the characters, as far as like Superman or Superboy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Bendis is another good writer. You know, he added Noemi, and she was cool. She was there for a cool minute, and that's what
It didn't. But not anymore.
little meta had taken it. Hey man, what'd you do? Did you cake your son or what?
I don't have a son.
Meta.
Kidding.
Stay true.
I know.
Well, so you wanna wrap this up or?
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, next week we'll be hitting another topic, and then we'll be going on another story. Next week, hopefully, we can have Meta on the show. You know, a shout out to his son.
Maybe do a chop up.
Yeah. You know, it was his first birthday, so congratulations, man. My brother will be on next week as well. He had some stuff that he had to attend to, but hey, most definitely appreciate everyone that did come out. Foyle, what you got going on this week?
This week, nothing much to be honest. I don't have a whole lot going on this week.
None.
Packaging, sending out orders, cleaning, pressing.
Hey man, I know you
CDC
said something.
puts my order in the system stuff.
I know, yeah, like I just said, I know you sent something to CGC, man. You mind sharing what you said?
Oh yes, I sent a Force 42. It was in nice condition. Anything 8.5 or above, I will be ecstatic. I believe it could hit 8.5, 9.0. We'll see. I'll do the live unboxing on this show. I'm not going to look at the email. Yeah, I'm just not going to look at it. It'll be a surprise.
So when you get,
we'll
you're
see
not
what
gonna
happens.
be a cheater. You're gonna be ecstatic with what you get. Okay, I think that's fair enough. I believe you're gonna be doing that with. I'll be on as well as with my brother as well with that.
Yes,
unboxing.
we are planning. Me and your brother are planning on sending out 6 each, and going to be getting some goodies back and seeing what happens. And I believe majority, if not all of them, will be for sale. So
I want to do it too.
Oh yeah, you can jump in.
I mean, hey, if everyone wants to send out and we just like do a video of unboxing,
we can do a
and
massive
talking,
unboxing, man.
Let's do it.
I'm hoping
your
to get this
books
back.
you're already sending out don't count.
Are you really? That's nice.
I'm hoping to
We
get
already
that
know
back.
what you're sending out, man. Oh yeah. Oh snap.
First Maestro. I got the set. 1200 triple signed.
What?
Weak.
Oh my God. Hey, Cat 60, what you got going on this week?
That's it. I'm hoping to get that back this week.
Right.
It's been gone. It's been out at CBCS for far too long.
Ooh.
So I mean,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't really have much going on, man. I'm just gonna wing it.
Wing it this week? Hey, man. That's all right. Sometimes you got to
I got
wing
some
it.
websites to build. I got some advertising to do.
J1, what's up?
Did you catch that?
What?
What you got going on?
No, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My wife was talking to me.
Oh, no. What you got going on this week?
Man, I am super excited. I have my box I sent in to CGC finally went from received to scheduled for grading. So that means I might have it in hand here in a week or two. Kind of excited about that.
That's always a good thing. Also, there is a new grading company that me and Metaphorical may be talking about pretty soon. Just keep an eye out, and we'll see what happens. But you already know that a lot of our panel members here are on the Metaphorical auction. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We got an exclusive dropping. You guys are more. I strongly encourage you guys to pick that up. We'll have the final artwork and everything coming to you guys soon. You never know where we get it from. You might get it on Metaphorical's channel. You might get it on our channel. But I appreciate the love and support from everyone, and see you next week.
Hey,
What's up?
can I show it one more time?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you just send it to him and then he does your outro?
Coconut.
We have a technical difficulty. That's why.
Oh, okay.
What the hell's it? There it is. Okay. Maybe. There we go. That's so awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Hey, props to your wife, man. Tell her she did an excellent job. But definitely, yeah, just stay tuned. See
Just gotta get
y'all
the
next week.
minor thing. I love all of you guys.